Have you ever truly wondered why some companies, whose financials look as exciting as reading a dictionary, manage to pull off an IPO success that makes the world's billionaires instantly jealous? They fly high while some seemingly amazing companies crash and burn like a badly baked souffle right on the first day of trading. We are absolutely not here to discuss magic wands or secret meetings with Wall Street goblins, but rather a deeply fascinating concept we call the energy signature of a genuinely successful public offering event. The secret lies in reading the collective investor mood swings and subtle CEO body language that your college professor definitely forgot to teach you during finance class. I promise you this. After sticking with this whole video, you will be able to smell a successful IPO coming, much like a gourmet chef smells a perfect, expensive truffle. Listen, most investors, from the institutional titans to the guy trading in his pajamas, all face the same core problem when hunting for those tempting, shiny IPO shares. They are constantly glued to dusty, historical spreadsheets that are already practically ancient history. They mistakenly assume that last year's average revenue will automatically guarantee this year's success, which is a bit like assuming a bulky flip phone will efficiently get you into the advanced metaverse quickly. The core conflict is this. The initial IPO price is largely driven by sheer emotional group enthusiasm and ridiculous, often over-the-top market hype that no one ever formally bothers to write down anywhere. This whole confusing situation creates massive anxiety, forcing you to choose between boring, old facts or following the crowd like a dizzy sheep at a financial carnival. Wouldn't it be much cooler to possess a financial superpower that instantly helps filter out all the noise and find the real signal of success? Let's define our energy signature of an IPO as the strange, powerful combination of investor optimism that often borders on pure delusion, leadership signals that are clearer than a flawless diamond, and a compelling growth story that hooks you like an excellent Netflix thriller. This distinct signature is certainly not a number you can simply plug into a standard Excel sheet, but rather a powerful, universal vibe that spreads rapidly among those seasoned investors who truly know exactly what they are doing. In the high-stakes world of modern finance, this energy signature visibly manifests as a huge demand for shares so intense that the underwriters start panicking happily, leading to that famous, thrilling, oversubscribed phenomenon. This totally unquantifiable feeling is the exact thing that separates the dull, totally forgettable IPOs from the ones that feel like throwing a massive, successful market party for everyone. Open loop. There is one ridiculous secret signal you can easily find on social media that I will fully reveal in the outcome section. So stick around until the very end. The first crucial ingredient in analyzing the energy signature is the clear narrative frequency, actively broadcasted by the founders and the entire upper management team of the company. A truly successful IPO doesn't just promise you money, it promises you a personal seat on a metaphorical spaceship to a brighter, richer future by solving humanity's most annoying, pressing problems. A leadership team that can successfully articulate a bold and totally captivating future vision sends out massive waves of optimism that instantly infect every single potential investor they encounter. This compelling narrative creates an instant emotional connection, effectively turning a potentially boring business prospect into a heroic, motivating mission that makes people feel incredibly cool just for investing. If the company narrative is rambling and sounds exactly like your eccentric uncle talking about politics, that's your first big fat warning sign. Honestly, In the crazy world of IPOs, the exciting narrative often beats out the depressing quarterly financial report that only your very bored auditor loves to read or analyze in depth. Remember when figures like Steve Jobs or even the founders of Zoom talked? Investors were not actually buying tiny balance sheet items. They were instantly buying the visionary dream of a completely different, better future for everyone. This is the financial industry's eternal internal conflict. Smart money knows future profit is driven by epic vision, not just last year's tedious, predictable performance review. Therefore, your number one task as a potential investor is to critically judge the raw, honest power of that presented leadership narrative. Is it powerful enough to make people eagerly empty their wallets without asking too many uncomfortable, detailed questions? The second vital component is the unwavering leadership signal that visibly beams out from the high-level executives leading the company into the public markets, looking incredibly composed and confident the whole time. Savvy investors are constantly watching for subtle, non-verbal cues, such as the CEO's totally calm public demeanor, a history of entrepreneurial success that involves surviving actual previous business wars, and a solid track record that even your extremely skeptical grandma would instantly approve of. Wobbly, uncertain leadership creates a massive information vacuum, seriously increasing risk for all investors and automatically dropping that precious IPO energy signature significantly. The sheer, visible courage and calm determination of a founder, even though it's never written in the boring fine print, provides a powerful psychological insurance policy for everyone involved. Trust in the main leader is often the magic button that instantly triggers the much-desired herding behavior among the biggest institutional investors around the globe. When those huge institutions publicly and confidently show their faith in the management, it immediately sends out a viral signal of trust that causes massive, instant demand from the smaller retail investors. If an IPO feels lukewarm and incredibly boring, it's usually because the overall energy signature from the management team feels inherently weak. They lack genuine, obvious enthusiasm, or they seem like they are already fighting amongst themselves privately. Ask yourself this very simple, direct question. Does this particular leader project an aura that instinctively makes me want to throw my hard-earned cash at them and trust them completely with my future? The third essential part is the huge wave of collective optimism sentiment that enthusiastically sweeps across the entire market right before the highly anticipated stock offering period even begins. This crucial energy signature is essentially the combination of frantic media excitement, endless buzz on every social media platform, and overly enthusiastic discussions from every independent analyst, trying desperately to sound smart. Remember this simple truth: IPOs, especially for the latest hot tech darling, often quickly become a massive psychological game where the investor's deep self-belief, overconfidence bias, is fully exploited for profit generation. This overwhelmingly positive sentiment creates a robust psychological momentum that consistently drives the stock price well past its true fundamental valuation, at least for the highly lucrative, high-speed, short-term gains. Your ultimate job is absolutely not to completely ignore the massive hype that is currently happening, but rather to quickly analyze whether that hype has a legitimate, sturdy foundation, or if it is just another flimsy, easily popped speculative bubble waiting patiently to deflate. An IPO with a genuinely solid energy signature usually has hype that is strongly backed by huge long-term institutional investors, not solely driven by a bunch of frantic retail traders looking for a lightning-fast buck on the first day. Analyzing the overwhelming media sentiment against the company, as some quirky research has shown, is the modern and effective way to quickly measure this crucial energy signature. A huge word of caution. If the hype is too loud and the fundamentals are barely whispering, that's your biggest, shiniest, most obvious red flag waving right in front of you. The definitive solution for successfully identifying the right energy signature is to cleverly combine your strong, traditional, fundamental analysis with a careful, nuanced measurement of these powerful psychological, non-fundamental signals. Please, never rely solely on those dull, outdated past financial reports alone. Instead, use them as a simple initial filtering tool before you dive deep into the company's narrative power and the actual credibility of its visible leadership. Use your refined gut feeling, but always guide it with a solid understanding of market psychology. Is there a huge wave of mass optimism that is genuinely backed by convincing, consistent leadership signals? This compelling combination of smart signals will give you far better direction than blindly following some random analyst's inaccurate price prediction. Closing the open loop. The completely hidden signal you can easily check on social media is the level of personal, goofy engagement demonstrated by the founders throughout the entire pre-IPO conversation period. If the company founders are actually jumping in, authentically building their community, directly answering challenging questions, and generally projecting genuine, raw passion, that constitutes an incredibly powerful positive energy signature. This proves they are not just selling paper, they are sincerely and passionately selling their long-term vision directly to the public without unnecessary PR, sugarcoating, or spin. Now, take your final investment decision by expertly fusing cold, rational data with this crucial, measurable psychological energy signature. Identifying a successful IPO is ultimately not just about being the world's best spreadsheet wizard, but profoundly about sensing and accurately interpreting the strange psychological energy signature that completely surrounds the entire offering. Be the smart, successful investor by listening not only to what the company claims in its boring press releases, but also how that message is truly resonating, or not, with the entire market collectively. This crucial energy signature is the magic that separates short-term flukes from the sustainable legacies built within the complex, dynamic capital market. If this deep, slightly hilarious analysis has truly helped you see the market in a new, powerful light, please do us a massive favor and smash that like button and hit subscribe to join our community right now. We promise to keep uncovering the funny, hidden energy that secretly drives global finance.